There we are. Okay, we're set. I'm up here on the roof of my truck right now. Set the prisoners free! Stop the blue treason! That's what. Hey guys, I see you in there. So you should be able to hear me pretty good. I'm on the, I'm wired because it's kind of windy out here, so I put a wire on. And you know what? It's a crazy world. It's a crazy world. So I'm up here on the roof of my truck. I have a platform on all my trucks. I'm a photographer, but it's kind of nice because I can just come out here and it's like a deck. It's like a deck on the top of my truck. Well, that's exactly what it is a deck. I just streamed on Facebook, facebook.com/callmegav. I just streamed over there. Sup, guys? I just streamed over there, and you know what? Streamed, rather, not screamed. I try not to scream. Hey, Zach. Everybody, shout out to all you guys. Savage. So, I'm in front of my studio. There's a lot of cars. I get 1 million cars a year that drive by here. So, anyways, I just streamed over there. You can check it out. But I'm going to do a similar stream right here. I want to talk about how you have no free speech. So let's talk about that. Now, number one, there's a couple angles we could take this from. This is going to be a quick law class. Okay, read the First Amendment. The First Amendment affirms the freedom of the press and the freedom of speech. Okay, so people say, I have a right to free speech. Well, number one, the Constitution gives you no rights. You have the rights that are natural. The Constitution affirms rights. Okay? Number two, the Constitution is completely disregarded in America. The courts in no way recognize it. Your police, your blue treason, in no way recognize it. None of the police officers in America defend the Constitution. Okay? And your rights are not recognized. However, you still have the rights. Hey, Edgar, shout out, thanks there. You still have the rights. So you have the right to your speech, but you don't have free speech, and here's why. Speech comes at a great price. Your words will cost you. Speech is not free. You have the freedom to speak, and you have the accountability for those words. Hey, Jay Reed. Nell. So, what then? People say the example that your prosecutor would probably use in a courtroom as they're persecuting and prosecuting people for exercising their right to speech because we have no constitution. He might say, well, in fact, I think they argued this in my trial when I was on trial. You can find the video. If you search for Gavin Syme arrested on YouTube, you can find the video of me on trial, of my closing arguments. I actually live streamed my trial. And there's a live stream of me debating with the prosecutor when I took the stand. But I think he made this argument that's really common of, well, you have free speech, but you can't yell fire in a crowded theater. Well, number one, you don't have free speech, you have freedom of speech. There's a difference because your speech comes at a price. Number two, you absolutely can yell fire in a crowded theater. You have the right to speak at any and all times. Now, if you damage someone else, right? There can be a crime. Now, I'm not talking about these fake crimes that our government makes up. The government itself cannot be a victim. There has to be a real victim, okay? This whole like, oh, the state is the victim, so we're prosecuting. That's a fake crime. It's a fake charge. Fake arrests, fake convictions, fake trials. That's what we have in America. But if there's a victim, if you yell fire in a crowded theater and you cost the theater owner money, okay? Well, he can sue you for his losses. You could do that. If you yell fire in a crowded theater and people run out and get trampled, you could be liable for the damage to life, right? Because you instigated it. Then there could theoretically be a crime. Now, in reality, if you yell fire in a crowded theater, the theater owner's probably just going to come in and tell you to get lost and leave his theater and give you your ticket money back. Maybe not even that. That's another debate. Okay? You have no free speech. You have freedom to speak and to use your voice. That's what you have. That's what you have. And your words have power. But what about that theater owner? He can tell you to leave, right? People come to my page, the trolls. You know, there's a lot of trolls and a lot of haters lately because we're gaining power with this message of opposing the blue line, the blue treason, right? Doing it in love, not in hate, not as a lynch mob, absolutely not, but loving police and tyrants enough to look them in the eye and say, you are a criminal, you are an extortioner, you are a terrorist, you are not a godly man, you are not a protector of the people when you don the uniform and go abusing and extorting. That's loving. That's loving. It's not loving to tell someone they're a hero when they're a thug. All of America's police, to keep their job, have to violate your rights. Yeah, I'm seeing your comments, guys. Thanks, John. So, if you have the right to speak, right, but that theater owner has the right to throw you out for your speech, that's because your rights end where his begins. That's his private property. This page, Gavin Syme for Liberty, this YouTube channel, that's my private property. So these trolls, they always come to our pages and they'll attack, they'll slander, they'll make blatant lies about me, which we'll account for, even if they don't account for them for their slander legally, because I don't want anybody to go to these fake jails. I don't want anybody to go to a concentration camp. That's not justice. That's not a redress of grievance. That's not restitution. So they slander and lie about me all the time. A lot of people over on Facebook doing this a lot. People claiming to be patriots or 3%. And they don't like it that I'm speaking up against their idols, the police. Now here's the thing, they come to our pages, and you guys have seen this. Some of them are just bona fide loyalists, and they're gonna defend the system. But probably 2/3 are flat out fake accounts, paid government trolls, things like that. Why should we give them a voice? And so they use our character and our integrity against us. They say, you shouldn't infringe my speech by blocking me from your page. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not infringing your right to speech. You can go start your own page. You do not have a right to slander and to lie and to spread your darkness in my living room. And so I welcome people disagreeing with me. I welcome reasonable discussion, but it's very clear these days. It's easy to tell when someone's spirit is all about slander and lie and putting others down, backbiting and division. It's not of love, it's not of God, it's not of liberty. Okay? So don't be afraid. I'm not saying we gotta all go on a blocking spree. We don't need to create an echo chamber for ourselves. It's good to debate, it's good to discuss. But let's stop letting the paid government trolls, informants, loyalists, and sellouts control the narrative. Our words have power. The government in America, they've sold us treason by repeating it often enough. If you repeat a lie often enough, people start to believe it's true. If you repeat that tyranny is freedom, you wave the flag, you say freedom, even as they're kicking you in the head and locking you in a cell for what they did to you, like they did to Jeff Winehouse, like they did to Schaefer Cox, like they're doing to the Bundys, like they do to the natives, the blacks, the whites, the Christians, the Muslims. Our government in America is the terrorists, guys. We all know it. It doesn't take a genius to figure it out. We terrorize the entire planet. We are the terrorists of the world. They don't hate us. They don't hate America for their freedom. We have none. The world hates America because we murder their children. We enslave their nations. Our nation is terrorists. So stand up. Doesn't matter if you're a civilian or a veteran or a police officer. You can't be good at those things. You can't be doing good unless you stand up. So we use our voice for that. Let's stop giving the darkness such a loud voice. Let's stop pretending. Let's stop pretending that our character requires us to allow them to lie in our living room. Now, if the liars and the slanders, if they want to go make their own page, I'll be like, hey guys, right? They can do that. They have that right in their living room. Not in mine. So, to recap all of this, you don't have free speech, you have freedom of speech. It comes at a cost. You can use that speech for good, or you can use it for darkness. You can use it for light, or you can use it for darkness, like the slanderers, the backbiters, and the dividers. See, people say I'm dividing when I speak against our evil justice system, our evil judges, our evil politicians, our evil police. They say I'm dividing. It's actually them dividing. They've divided from truth. They've divided from liberty and love of neighbor. They've divided from what is right and true and just. And when people call them on it, they say we're dividing. What we're doing is we're being the light. We need to be the light. I did another stream on my Facebook page last night about being light. Light obliterates darkness. Guys, I'm in the business of light. I know a lot about light in the natural world here, in my photos and video, all this kind of stuff, right? And I know that the light on my forehead is not very good right now. For some reason, the camera's kind of wigging out. I've actually learned quite a bit about light by standing up for justice for my neighbor, because the parallels are so amazing. Police hate it when you shine light on their deeds, when you show up with a camera and just question what they're doing with principle. They hate that. They run away, quite literally, as you've seen in many of my videos, because the light shines on them. Our voice can be light if we're not afraid to use it for good. Our voice can also be darkness if we're filled with hate, with bitterness, with anger. Defend your neighbor. Love your neighbor. You have no free speech. You have freedom to speak. Not because of the Constitution. That's not even recognized in America anymore. But because it's your right. That's right, Carlos. Light it up. Light it up with truth. You guys have a good night. I'm gonna roll. Gotta wrap up. Gotta go home. Gotta get some dinner. See my kiddos. I got a baby due in 2 weeks. And we got a lot of prisoners. A lot of prisoners that need to be set free. It's just getting dark over here, over in Pacific time. And we'll see you guys soon. You can donate right here in the super chat, or you can go to my page. Somebody was asking, that's why I'm saying it, callmegav.com. But yeah, you can certainly do that. Always appreciate a little coffee money, but this isn't how I make my living. So you guys take care. Check it out. Speak truth. Love your neighbor.